Hey there, team. Hello. Welcome to today's episode of The Business Octopus, where we unpack all things business. Today, we're here to talk about how to be impossible to ignore. And I get told that a lot, but I'll dig into that in a moment. Avon, how are you today?
Oh, good. And I like your start there. So we mixed it up a bit.
Look, just in case. I was challenged to kick us off, and so I rose to the occasion. Here we are.
We can't let people get bored and hear me start the whole thing all the time. So it's good to mix it up. So good, busy. Got a lot of,
excellent,
I guess, YouTube videos to edit and a lot of stuff going on, like content creation, which kind of gets into what we're talking about today. And I think that, you know, the more I've gone and created things that are just different, the more I have, I wouldn't say different so much as just weirdly different. Like there's a line of being impossible to ignore. It's like it's a train crash. You can't look away. But then there's the other element where it's just, you know, different and interesting, because we live in a sea of sameness. And at the moment you've got AI generated content, which is somebody else's stuff repackaged. You know, humans get to be a little bit jarring and different. And I think that's probably why I think we've sort of wanted to talk about this today. That, and there's probably been a few things where it's made us more, I don't know, get into more deals or get into more conversations or get into more, you know, sales process. Yeah. So
absolutely.
What I guess, you know, broadly content creation, what could someone do? What are you doing? Let's maybe talk about what we're doing here. What are the forms of content and why is it important?
Well, and this is the thing, isn't it, Avon? There's so many rabbit holes that you can go down. There's so many glittery balls that you can chase. So right now you're watching our weekly live stream, which how long have we been doing this for now, Avon? God, it must be
6 months.
6 months? I feel like we're going to have to look up when our anniversary is and have a little party. There's going to be a party. So you can do things like live streams. There's podcasts. You can do Instagram stories, TikTok videos. You can do short form. You can do long form. There's so many options, which I think a lot of people get stuck in overwhelm because there's so many options and they don't know where to start. So what do we tell them, Avon? Where do they start?
Well, you know, like how do you have time for your day job? Like what?
Well, this is it, isn't it?
Or is social media content creation your business? So, like, I don't know, what do you do? What's your process? How many platforms, mediums, content iterations you go through?
Yeah, so our big thing was always, okay, where are our target audience? And I sort of started on LinkedIn. That's where I started hanging out, and that's where I would post 3 times a week. And then we were getting a little bit of traction, but for me, I'm like, no, I want to be seen more. I want to get in front of more eyeballs. So what we've started doing recently is I do a daily live video that is, I'll be honest with you, it's pre-recorded. I record a bunch and they go out live to 5 different platforms, and that's working a treat. So we're being seen in multiple destinations by slightly different audiences. Like LinkedIn's more my corporate humans, and then smaller business owners are on Facebook and Instagram. So we're being seen across multiple platforms. I record it once, and then I try to answer questions or solve something really tiny for people, just a little challenge that will get them over a speed bump. And then we put that in our content master database. And whenever someone asks for that, we've got it there. We also will post a couple of times a week on LinkedIn, but our main thing is those live videos, and they've been getting real solid traction, which is awesome.
Yeah. And obviously, you know, you've made the process efficient so you can do that on a regular basis. Otherwise you just wouldn't be able to keep up.
And that's the thing, team. So it's about, okay, what topics am I getting asked about? What are the small micro things that we can solve within that? I have a script template that I like. The top is the same, the bottom of the script is the same, and I fill in the meat and potatoes in the middle, and then I can go and record. They're 5 to 6 minutes long. I can go and record one, a set of 5 for the week in an hour, because I've got everything pre-prepared and ready to go.
Well, I think if it's too much work, you're just not going to do it. So the fact that you've made a process for it that makes it, you could show up every week and have it not be like all consuming of your life. I've focused on one channel, and the reason I did that, because there's another business sort of like ours in the US. He's been quite popular online, and I spoke to him about what made them quite successful, not only online, they're they're a Zoho partner, they're the premium Zoho partner in the US. And he said 90% of their business comes from YouTube. Like a $20 million business. They're like absolutely killing it. And he's just like, YouTube, nothing but YouTube, like focus, just keep pumping it out. And for what we do, it's a lot of little button clicks and all that sort of stuff. And you've got to understand the framework and the structure and this and that. It's really hard to communicate in a blog or in an article. And so sometimes it's just easy, a little bit like, watch me, like I'm going to do it, and you can look over my shoulder while I solve this problem. And then by doing that, I am creating content naturally through my everyday business, because half the time, like you said, answering real questions. I made videos because people kept asking me stuff, and I started making the videos that just saved me time answering the same damn question over and over again. It's like my FAQ engine.
Yeah, exactly.
And then doing that, I kind of went, well, I'm going to knuckle down, and I'm going to do this on a regular basis, and I'm going to make sure that I, really make it something that I can just do every day, every week, whatever the cycle is, that it wasn't so much work that it was just this impossible hill to climb. So I focused on one platform. And so instead of doing, the LinkedIn, the Instagram, the something, because then, you've got to manage that. You're using a posting tool, which is good. But then there's, people that say native posting is better. I did have someone hired to do that at one point, but then, they're messaging me on weekends and late nights and saying, hey, I've got to post this thing at this time. Like, what are you doing? Just schedule it. Like, we're not big enough to have a 24/7 operation to go and post things within people's, comfortable work hours. So I wasn't happy with like these things happening, at stupid times. You become a slave to the system. So I thought, I'm just going to settle in. Whether it's on YouTube or not, I'm probably going to use these videos on a one-to-one basis with my client to go, here is what you need to know to solve that little problem. And by just delivering real value first, the algorithm, the formula, the hook, that came second. Like, I didn't care about that. It was more like, maybe you won't get that. Like, the hook and the thumbnail is about getting new audience that don't know you, that don't have a relationship with you. You could have the dumbest, most boring text on a screen, but let's just say you really knew your stuff, and in your niche or in your market, like a university professor or something, all the students would just like, no, this is what I have to watch. This is the thing that's going to give me the information. You won't get new audience, but you will have a very well established trust base. So now in the age of AI, everyone's sucking out all of the content by automatic transcription. Then that goes into the SEO of the video. So it doesn't really matter that much about the tags and the SEO anymore. Yes, you want to add some more like exploratory keywords and things like that. But like, I speak pretty plainly. I think sometimes when people try to overwhelm the audience, like I probably initially underestimated how much you need to dumb it down. Like, and I don't mean that from a bad perspective. It's just that
I'm the same. Yeah.
People don't work in our space.
They don't know. Yeah, they don't know what they don't know. They don't know the language that we're talking in our teams every single day. 100% agree. Yeah.
So, and the other day I got a little notification that says, do you want to allow your content for creator education? So it's like, it could be used in schools, right? So, and I don't produce content, I don't swear. I think I don't know, might have let one or two slip over, 1,000 videos.
Fine. It's
No,
fine.
but I also don't do a controversial topic. I don't talk about evil things. So it's pretty much turns a boring thing now into an educational thing. And hopefully, we'll have a whole bunch of people watch the videos and, like, I don't know, zooming out, because we're like being impossible to ignore, right? You're building a legacy of content that survives you, your ability to be in one meeting with one person, and your ability to, I guess, scale. So in terms of having all of that content available, like Dolomites was a program that the Commonwealth Bank ran, which was training kids about banking, so that when they became adults, that they would be good customers, right? Or pretty much already a customer.
And I am one of those good customers. Yes, I'm a Dolomite kid. Love it.
Well, so if like for me now, that's now available in the education space, what happens when those kids, in 5 years, 10 years time, leave, join the workforce, start businesses? I'm going to be further ranked up the trust cycle of who should you get to help you build your business systems, as opposed to, although by that stage, I'm sure everyone's got a Neuralink chip in their head and can just vibe the hell out. Yeah.
No doubt. But it's about being top of mind, right? So yes, that's how we build that top of mindness. Or like when I think of a certain thing, I'm going to think of that certain person or that certain organization, and I'm going to go straight to them. So if we show up consistently team, it's got to be consistently. You can't just do this, when you feel like it. You got to do it when you don't feel like it. Then we're top of mind. Whenever someone thinks about our zone of genius, they're like, I've got to speak to Amanda. I've got to speak to Avon. So how can you bake that into the DNA of what you're doing on a daily, weekly, monthly basis so that you are remaining top of mind?
Well, there was I guess, couple of videos the other day I was watching, and they, I kind of resonated with them. Like if someone resonates with what you're saying, you can make mistakes. Like, I think the big problem everybody tries to do is be a little bit more. We have a comment from Terry.
Hey, Terry.
Thanks for watching. So yeah, like the biggest problem is people try to be polished, or they try to, always they either chase perfection. Like, look at me, I didn't shave my neck this morning. Like I didn't do my hair well enough. I need a haircut. It's a little bit got a cowlick.
You look fabulous, Avon. It's fine.
Yeah. A little bit messy. Like at the end of the day, you need the survivability of your ability to show up. There's plenty of people, like this huge trend on social media at the moment of like, I quit YouTube, or I'm burnt out, and then it just became this thing of like, oh, people are now curious to why these people are burning out. And then everybody jumped on the trend of use that keyword because it's getting views. So the people that are not burnt out just come up and BS about being burnt out so they could have something to talk about, because they have exhausted every topic. I think, what we're sort of saying is we're doing this in the everyday of what we're already doing. It's like, what frustrated us from this week? What is like top of mind to go, oh, I can't believe this. What lessons do we learn, and how do we make it public?
Yes, exactly. Terry. Sorry, Avon. Terry, thank you. Thank you for chiming in there. Recent, frequent, and front of mind. Absolutely.
That's your job. What are you doing?
Exactly. Failed. Well, I was waiting for you to finish that thought trail, and then I was going to bring Terry in. I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, Terry, office linebacker. Good to go.
That's it.
All right. So, content syndication, it does reduce the workload, but what it does is it's that repackage and reuse. So, like we were talking earlier about, I did a post a couple of days ago, and I had a YouTube, not a YouTube, sorry, a podcast, which I'd started like 4 years ago, did like 30 episodes, didn't seem like I was getting a whole bunch of plays. Well, at that point, I had that same problem, I'm telling people not to do what I've already done because it's been a pain in the ass for me. So I went and did the podcast, the Facebook, the LinkedIn, the this, the that, blah, blah, blah. And whilst I've got them all connected, right here, we're just making one piece of content, but it's going 3 places. I would try to do it all different and, change the form factor for the video and, you've got to be short on this platform and long on that platform and, portrait on this one and landscape on the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a mammoth effort. So unless you're, Alex Hormozi with, 20 graphic designers, video editors,
your team of minions.
Yeah.
Don't do it yourself.
One person dedicated per platform. And now you've got other things like there's a competitors to YouTube. There's, Butterfly, I think it is. Or
that's a new one. Okay, I haven't heard of that one.
So all the people that created X or Twitter, the original Twitter, who then got bought, who then got annoyed that Elon Musk basically fired, 70% of the workforce, and yet Twitter still runs. Who then went and created what they deem another free usage platform, and but yet again, it's another platform. Threads. Right now we got another platform. So it's just more of the same, and at this point, who cares? So I just pick one. Where do I think my people are? Where do I think I'm going to have the best value, and just double down on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and team, treat it like it. You are not going to get it right the first time. Let's just cop to that straight away. Go and experiment. Go try some stuff. Go break some stuff, because that's the only way you will find what's going to work and what's going to resonate with your audience. But if you always come back to answering those questions that you're getting asked or solving their micro problems, you're setting yourself up for success.
Well, like just getting back to the podcast, one thing I forgot to mention was that when I looked at it, like literally last week, I saw that I had 11 plays, which doesn't seem like much. But the real thing that I'm interested in is I don't care about the volume. I care about the depth and quality. I had 4 hours of listen time.
From 11 plays?
From 11 plays, yeah.
How long your episode?
20 minutes.
Wow, okay.
I listened to the whole episode in full. Now, I know that, like, as we do this, most people kind of like feign interest, and you have friends that are like, oh, yeah, I'll give you a thumb up. And you have a look at the number in the corner, and, it's like one person comes in, and a few seconds later they leave.
Exactly.
Right, we have to drive their attention. Maybe they don't know us well enough yet. They haven't sort of built that rapport to go, oh, I'll listen to what these people say. The other thing too is that shouldn't dishearten you, because now there's after the live stream is done, that video is saved on all of the platforms and ready to go. So if somebody comes in later, they might watch it in their spare time. And yes, we're plagued with a myriad of content, but if we're good with the keywords and we talk about the salient problem, like I listen to podcasts to solve a problem. So I will actively search for a thing that I think an issue that is coming up. So other than, one podcast that we've already talked about, I don't like fan any one particular podcast.
Right. Okay. So you're looking for solutions. You're using that as your library of solutions.
Well, yeah, and the reason why is because I don't know the words to search for a particular. If I don't know the solution, I'm going to go and listen to other people that have the same problem. They're going to say, "Oh, I tried, it didn't work. I tried that, it didn't work." And here's this, jargon X that I didn't know about. So now when I go search that thing, and now I've got a deeper understanding of that body of knowledge to solve that issue.
Yeah, nice.
And I value that perspective and opinion more than ChatGPT. Huh?
Yeah, this is true. I'm going to steal that methodology. I like that. I'm stealing. Oh God, English language Friday. Who needs it?
Well, that's what your future self did.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. That's good. Always think about yourself in the future. Good to go.
And that is very important. Set future Amanda and Avon up, or Terry up to win.
Well, the thing that kicked the conversation off here today was, like I put a post out the other day saying I recently got monetized on Instagram, and like I'd kind of chipped away at it, is in the background. I was more experimenting. Probably wasn't actually till last week that I figured out how to do a video more than 30 seconds. So that's how little crap I gave.
Do more than 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's how little care factor I had on Instagram. So if you give one thing you focus, you're going to do really, really well. And then you can expand from there, right? Because like with the podcast, I've now queued up the next 6 months worth of weekly podcasts because I've got the content there already. Now it's just on another channel, on another medium, you know, like YouTube, you generally sit at your desk or your TV, you know, podcasts, you know, like my phone connects to the car and then it plays the podcast that I'm on, or I might quickly search it up because I know I got a half-hour drive or an hour drive. I will search it up, queue it up, hit go. You know, you can have it there. You know, like if you have a YouTube video playing, the cops are going to drive past and go, you're only allowed to use maps. So, you know, that's a distraction, but I can listen to podcasts, no problem. And I'd rather listen to that than, I can't even think of the band name, but it's literally the Impossible to Ignore.
Oh, no, you lost me. I love that you sang though. I did.
Yeah.
I did.
You dare me at the start.
I was hoping that he would do that.
Well, here's another thing, is the nostalgia of injecting song lyrics. So if you're listening, occasionally throughout, I will use song lyrics to start off my podcast post or my Instagram post, or it's just, I'll say it not by singing it, but just by stating it, because it'll be familiar, and subconsciously behind the scenes, whether you realize it or not, familiar things resonate better. So, you know, a lot of times in advertising, people will use familiarity and nostalgia to trigger an emotional response to get you to react and want to align with the brand, buy the brand, talk about the brand, etc.
Exactly.
So
getting you right in the feels, team, right in the feels.
But the thing that really kicked it off was, you know, quickly getting monetized on Instagram because we'd done all of the work on YouTube, and then like pushing that goodwill onto another platform. You know, LinkedIn as well. You know, we've got lots of posts and articles going out, but a lot of those posts and articles can be written because you know, by the team that do that, because I've already got a lot of spoken content that I've spoken myself the first time, and someone's just watching what I've already said and then repackaging it. So the repackaging, I think there's an exponential growth curve to your ability to create content once you've just shut up, sat down, done the work, and actually put the content out to begin with. Then yes, you become possible.
Now here's the thing, Avon. Everyone says, when I say that we repurpose content, everyone says to me, oh, but people are going to cotton onto that. No, they don't, because A, you're assuming that everyone is seeing you on the same platform or consuming media in the same way that you do, but they don't. Also, people forget what they consumed 2 days ago. They might have awareness of Amanda or Avon or Terry, but they won't remember exactly what was said or exactly what they consumed. So if that is your objection to reusing your content and repurposing it around the place, it's not a thing. You are safe, I promise.
Well, you know, like go and watch TV. They do it all of the time. And,
oh my goodness.
You know, yeah. So like, and you could go, you know, here we've given a few points and not a structure, we're more conversational here, but like if you gave a talk and there's like point 1 this, point 2, point 3 that, and you've done it in video format, and next you make the A4 downloadable, that's another repackage of the same content. It's just in a different format. And, you know, or maybe the long video and the short video on Instagram. And, you know, all of that is, you know, it's just the funnel, right? You get all these little like tidbits that lead them to the bigger thing, that lead them to the, you know, pulling on the heartstrings and getting them to want to, you know, reach out and contact you and learn more. You know, awareness, interest, desire, action. It doesn't happen because someone stumbled across your, you know, 3-hour documentary style talking head video. You have to repackage it.
Yes.
Yes.
So please repackage it.
One of the best shows and worst shows for repackaging is the computer animated version of Peter Rabbit, and
they've got no. They didn't computer animate Peter Rabbit, did they? Please no.
Oh, they did, yes. And what's worse is they have these like 4 or 5 extremely generic songs. They're used in different scenarios, and so it's like, be good at the thing that you are doing, whatever it is. Like it's so generic that it doesn't talk about that situation. But then, whenever there's like the situation where he's trying to run away from someone, there's a song. Whenever there's a situation where he's like figuring out how to do something, there's another song. Those 80s montages, right? It's that thing to pass time or to show progress or to do whatever. This show is so like cookie cutter, and there's probably in a 10-minute show, there's probably like 5 or 6 minutes of new content. Everything else, and like coming from a TV background, how much like dollars per minute and hours per minute.
Respect, absolutely. Okay, but let's think about what we grew up with. Captain Planet. They had Earth, Wind, Fire, Water, Heart. That was how many times an episode was that rerun? Okay, I'll stop hating on Peter Rabbit now.
Now you got what is it? The Paw Patrol. That's another one. Like it's so generic, and then they've got this like getting ready sequence where it's like they clip the belt on and this thing happens. It's like they like walk 2 steps, getting ready scene. Then they like turn and face that way, say 3 words, getting ready scene. Like it's so bad. It packs so much in. There's almost no storyline. There's just consistent getting ready scenes to be able to use up the time. But again, like that's what syndicated content is. You can do it really well, you can do it really poorly. The kids are not going to sit there and go, hey, that's the 3rd time I've seen that, I'm really annoyed.
No. They're going to scream with delight is what they're going to do, because they love Patrol.
Yeah, exactly. So your audience can do a similar thing, right? Not to the extremes, but like MASH, the TV show MASH. After a couple of years worth of episodes, every now and then they do one of these like rehash episodes where they're like, I remember when that happened, and it's like the 2 dudes are sitting in the tent and they're just like literally talking about, do you remember when that happened? So they don't need any of the other actors, they don't need any of the like props or film crew, like the helicopter or all that sort of stuff. They've already shot it.
Everyone's except the editors and 2 of the actors are taking a holiday that week. Maybe it was not rating season.
And like, let's say you got a series, and if it costs you $1 million an episode to produce, and then you're producing 11 episodes, and then the 12th episode is a rehash, well, that last one probably only cost you 50 grand to produce. And so if you're making, you're going to make a hell of a lot more money if your costs go down and your income goes up. So why not?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. Well, look, at the end of the day, make something that you can continue, because you need to do a lot of it, and it will benefit you massively in the long run, including being able to send links out to people to say, here's something I've already talked about. You send an email to you like 2 minutes, but the video might be 30 minutes or an hour explaining something in depth. They can click through it, rewatch it, share it with their friends. Much more impactful than if you answered every question on a one-to-one basis, and that would just massively slow you down. So it's about being efficient.
You don't have time for that. Smarter, not harder, kids. Smarter, not harder.
And so that I don't get in trouble, we did forget to do it last time. Make sure you join the Relevate community. We do talk about a lot of this sort of stuff in a bit more detail, and really dig in. Like we're gonna pull you out and say, where are you stuck? What's your problem? How do we fix it for you? And then all of us are going to jump in and try to, unclog the growth, like pipeline, so that you go bigger, better, faster, with a larger ultimate end goal. So check it out, link below. Other than that, you stay classy.
Good afternoon.